For personal reasons. An ethics case dealing with privacy and public figures.
Hang on, what?
For personal reasons. An ethics case on privacy of public officials.
Oh.
Public officials' right to privacy is limited. This could be shown in the case of Mark Whitfield, the Medina County Commissioner. For our media ethics project, we chose to analyze For Personal Reasons, a case study dealing with invasion of privacy. On April 5, 1979, a gray sedan was pulled over by a deputy. The deputy was surprised to find out that it was Mark Whitfield, the Medina County Commissioner, because he was wearing a blonde wig, heavy makeup, and lipstick. Whitfield's car was stopped because it was the suspect of a burglary call received by the deputy. The commissioner was taken home to change by a top officer before the sheriff could arrive. Whitfield was later brought into the police station for questioning. In the end, there were no charges filed or arrests made. Whitfield's cross-dressing secret was, however, out to the police. A reporter found out about his problem and wanted to report it. The reporter agreed to give Whitfield the weekend to tell his family about the incident before the story would run in the Beacon Journal on Tuesday. On Monday, Whitfield resigned for personal reasons. Given the situation, the reporter did not consider Whitfield a public figure anymore and therefore chose not to publish the article. A few years later, Whitfield considered running for Congress.
The ethical question is, should the reporters and editors have kept the story quiet in the first place? Using one of the social theory concepts, the public's right to know, need to know, and want to know, we decided that it was unethical for the reporter not to publish the initial story. The public's right to know refers to obtaining open legal records and information provided by the Freedom of Information Act. The public's need to know refers to information that, in turn, will aid the public in making informed decisions as responsible citizens. The public's want to know can be information that fulfills a person's curiosity to serve solely as a means of entertainment. In order to understand the implications of right to know in this case, we must understand the meaning of privacy.
The public has the right to know about public figures' doings because, as Sanford Levinson, a professor at the University of Texas Law School, states, there is simply no case law supporting the claim of a public figure seeking political office to enjoy a right of privacy. According to Sanford Levinson, the very fact that public figures by definition are newsworthy means that in fact they forego any legal protection against the publication of true facts about them, however embarrassing or offensive such publications might be. Because Whitfield was a public figure, events within his life were newsworthy. The Sunshine Law states that the U.S. federal and state laws requiring the regulatory authorities' meetings, decisions, and records to be made available to the public. Therefore, Whitfield's situation was also the public's right to know because he was caught in an illegal situation.
The public's need to know Whitfield's fraudulent behavior in order to make an informed voting decision. It was necessary that the public knew of his abuse of power in order to be well-informed citizens. Someone as mentally unstable as Whitfield was not equipped to be in the power or make decisions for the public. Whitfield used his political powers for personal reasons. This is shown when the officer took Whitfield home to change out of his female attire. According to Erwin Gratz, the host of Morning Edition on the main public broadcasting network, one of the messages that we must emphasize to our readers, listeners, and viewers is that even responsible journalists sometimes must and do trample on individual rights in pursuit of news that makes society as a whole safer and more honest. It was the journalist's obligation to make society safer and more informed as a whole by publishing Whitfield's story. However, with no information provided, the town continued trusting the commissioner because they were kept in the dark concerning his corruptive behavior.
According to Paul Husselby, a professor at Dixie College and the author of Respecting Privacy in an Information Society, A Journalist's Dilemma, the privacy invasion is justified when the published contents could prevent harm or injury to a significant portion of the population. The reporter did not fulfill her duty of beneficence, which is the duty to improve the knowledge to the public, but instead she chose not to release the information, allowing her duty of non-maleficence to take priority in order to avoid injuring Whitfield. This was not Whitfield's first attempt to break into his house. Whitfield had also admitted to having a problem and needing to seek professional help. It is the public's need to know the information to make informed decisions about whether or not he was suitable to serve as a representative of their community.
Want to know information is purely for entertainment regarding the lives of public figures. Most information under the want to know model is not significant in making anyone a more knowledgeable individual. Based on Lee Wilkins' article, journalists and the character of public officials and figures, political figures have celebrity status. Human curiosity means that viewers and readers want to know a great deal about celebrities. His cross-dressing does not affect the journalist's obligation to the public to report the facts. However, given his celebrity status, people would want to obtain as much information on his private life as possible.
Stephen Knowlton, the author of A Journalist's Moral Compass, argued that it is not the job of the journalist to decide whether or not the people would find information important, but rather to provide them with it. Once the public has the information, then the public could judge.
One of the guidelines stated from the Society of Professional Journalistic Code of Ethics says that journalists must seek truth and report it. They sought the truth, however, failed to report it. Their sources were legitimate, it was newsworthy, and they put time and effort into collecting information. Therefore, the journalist failed to do her job, to inform the public. Mark Whitfield's story should have been published.
This case study was for Howard Good's media ethics class at SUNY New Paltz. It was done by Will Darling, Bexus Matos, Leah Craig, and Michelle Miller. Journalism Ethics Goes to the Movies. Edited by Howard Good.
You did a real good job.
He's a good teacher.
He's a good guy.